welcome to my video. Today we are talking about the Winwing Orion 2 Hotas, or what is known as hands-on throttle and stick. This is a premium setup made of mostly metal with sturdy toggles and switches, which overall have a great feel. I've spent a little bit of time playing with this Hotas, and so far I don't have any major complaints. However, there's a few things we'll go over later. The quality of the buttons are really good. When pressed, they make audible clicks so you know when they're pressed, and all of the toggle switches have a tactile feel so that you can be confident when you've switched them into position. Overall, I am pretty happy with my purchase, as this was not a paid advertisement. I spent my own money on this, and the price does not come at a light expense. At the time of making this video, I purchased the Hotas for $3.99. However, on their website it shows $7.25 with a line through it, so I don't know if it's a temporary sale or not. So if you are able to purchase it at this price, it's going to come in cheaper than what the Virpil's selling for, what the Thrustmasters are selling for. The only one that you might get for less than that is going to be the Logitech X56, but then again, that one is going to be more plastic and not as many buttons. But that's enough talking about other stuff. Let's get into the Winwing Orion 2, which comes with a lot of features and specs. One of their features is SimApp Pro, which is a software that they have that allows you to customize some of the buttons on your Hotas. For example, taking a slider and turning it into a 3-way position switch. Now this Hotas base features 4 2-position toggles, 1 3-position toggle with a flat switch, 3 additional 3-position switches, 4 rotary knobs, which have a depress, 1 3-position knob with a depress, 3 red momentary buttons, and an air-to-air and air-to-ground toggle button, as well as 2 sliders. And then the throttle grip features a split throttle design so that you can control left and right engines individually, as well as a little rod that you can slide back and forth to lock and unlock the throttles together. In addition, each throttle lever has their own Allen key hole next to the throttle itself so that you can tighten and loosen the tension on the throttle itself. Now on the grip itself, it features 3 black momentary buttons, 1 3-position toggle, 1 mini joystick with a depress, 2 5-way buttons with depress, 1 toggle slider with a hold, neutral, and lock position, and 1 spring-loaded rotary dial. The entire base is complemented with lights, and all of the buttons and switches on the base are labeled with the most common aircraft markings. However, you can bind any of these buttons to whatever you'd like. One of the major improvements that they've made from the original Orion to the Orion 2 is that the throttle cables are now tucked into their own channel so that the throttle levers are no longer pinching the wire when you actuate from idle to full afterburner. Another feature of this throttle is that the grips can be switched out with other modules sold by Winwing, meaning that you can swap for other throttles and helicopter collectives. Or you can get the finger lift combo to give you extra control over your throttles, like shut off to idle or from mill power to afterburner. But now let's talk about the flight stick, which can be also swapped out for other flight stick modules sold by Winwing by unscrewing the nut at the base. And they've provided a screw in the kit to keep the nut secure. But now let's talk about the features, which include a 2-stage trigger, 2 momentary buttons, 1 red, 1 gray, an 8-way trim hat with a depress, 4 5-way hat buttons, which have depress, and I always forget about the index one, and 1 lever axis, but when fully depressed can work as a button. The stick overall feels smooth and the sensors are accurate. However, if you have the stick at full tilt and let go, it'll rock back a couple of times, which can be remedied with their cam spring dampening kit, but in my opinion is not necessary, as the chances of me just letting go of the stick in any usable situation is just non-existent. However, if you're planning on getting their extension module, then I would recommend the cam kit, as the rocking back and forth is amplified and the extra tension might be a better feel with an extended grip. And something else to take note of is that stock, the grip does not come with a Z-axis. However, they do sell a Z-axis module, but it's kind of spendy, coming in at $80. So you're essentially halfway to a decent set of rudder pedals. So I personally would just get rudder pedals, but if you don't want rudder pedals, you can always get the Z-axis module. And currently, I don't think Winwing offers rudder pedals, but they may add that in the future. And now let's get to my gripes. My least favorite thing about this Hotas has to be their suction cups. Initially I thought they were pretty good, but after using them, they're just not that great. When I was assembling it on my counter, which my counter is a smooth surface, they were incredibly hard to pull off, which is a good thing. However, over a couple of weeks, the suction cups have warped and they don't really stick anymore. And they might not stick to a textured desk, as my desk is textured. They stay there for the most part. I mean, with a little bit of down pressure, the Hotas doesn't move around and I haven't really had any issues. It's just kind of a personal preference to me, which I am planning on getting a desk drop mount for my Hotas, so it's not really going to be an issue for me, so it doesn't really bother me too much. One other thing that I'd be careful about is when you're assembling your throttle, be careful with the screws, as I had some issues trying to get some of the screws in, so don't force them, let them go in. If it won't go, then try a different screw, reposition it, just don't force them. And my last gripe has to be with the joystick cable where it plugs internally. I wish it was like half an inch longer. The length of it is kind of tight getting it plugged in. And I had a friend who actually plugged it in backwards and bent some of his pins. He was able to straighten them and it still works. It's just, it would have been nice if there was some extra length where you can actually see what you're doing when you're plugging it in. But overall, I think the Winwing Orion 2 is a quality Hotas and I am completely happy with my purchase. So if you would like to check out their website, I will link it down in the description, and please let me know if you enjoyed the cinematics, or if they were too long, you can let me know about that too. Any feedback is much appreciated, and don't forget to like and subscribe to see more content like this, and I'll catch you guys next time.